What's going on, everybody? It's Childish back at the game, coming at you with another Soul Strike video. And in today's video, we give you guys the big update, the reveal for the upcoming patch that has been released for the half anniversary update. I am here once again with Epic Butter to provide you guys a little bit of knowledge on this update because it's just recently dropped, and we want to give you our 2 cents and let you all know about it. Shouts out to Epic Butter one more time for coming on board. We originally had a video plan for the next Ultimate Beginner's Guide series, but I feel like this takes precedence. Shall we say yes or no?
I agree. I think this is one of the biggest updates from come to us for Soul Strike. Everybody got a massive power upgrade. Lots of stuff has changed. It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to get into it. So what we're going to do for you guys, we're going to go straight down the list. And like I said before, we'll kind of go back and forth as far as our overall opinions on it. But we're definitely going to be taking a page from Epic Butter's book and basically kind of give you the rundown, as he has already spent a little bit of time checking out all the new content and some of the new various things that are in the game here, and just kind of share his information on this. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it here. Half anniversary update. First thing that we got going on here is the new Conquer region. They call it Spirit Isle. So tell me a little bit about it. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so the Spirit Isle is actually kind of great. So the prize for Guild versus Guild has been these leadership coins. And with these leadership coins, we have been fighting over to get, it's over here, to get these soul crystal random chests or these soul crystal select chests. And what they allow us to do is to re-roll a specific line on our gear. So if you've like ultimate upgraded a gear and there's still a line that's not quite perfect, that's what it allows you. So it's actually called the refine system. So here is what it looks like for me, and I recently refined this gun. So you see it's locked to this first line here, where I was able to change a flat attack to a attack percentage.
Very nice.
So yeah. Why this is important, we were all fighting for that in GVG. The only way to get those crystals was through those boxes. So every guild was fighting for castles. And with the release of the Spirit Isle, we can now go over there and we can actually just farm for what is called these soul shards. And 3 of them, with a little bit of dimension crystal, will become one of those refine crystals. Cool. So essentially now we have a place where we can go and basically farm for our ultimate upgrade items. So this is a fantastic upgrade for everybody who's above Conquer level 3000 to come here and get a chance to really focus on their gear.
Yeah, I was going to definitely say this kind of reminds me a little bit of Summoners Chronicles, being able to do the refinement of your gear just to, min-max and get the most value out of it. I'm guessing that, there's still going to be some hard caps when it comes to certain stats here, but I guess that still allows you to, like I said, do what you need to do to, focus on the stats that you really need and just kind of capitalize on your weaknesses and make them strengths. So that'd be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's very specific to gear, but that's kind of why we were excited to go there. Now, what's interesting is most guilds still have to kind of get their research tiles up to 1,000% on their respective castles. So a lot of guilds are actually still here, trying to make sure they defend their get ready to defend their castle or get ready to attack a castle. So currently today, there's actually not that many people up here,
right?
Because they still have responsibilities for this weekend. But
right.
This does take the pressure off. So a guild can look at it and say, I don't need to fight for 4 castles. I don't, maybe we just take the one and we go up here and we try to fight for tiles up here. So it does give some kind of breathing room for the majority of the player base and allow more guilds to kind of fight. And because everybody got this power upgrade, you have many, many more players able and ready to fight in Guild versus Guild this weekend. So in terms of player eligibility, like this is going to be a fantastic weekend to see which guilds are going to come up. And I think we're going to see a very different map than what we've seen the last 2-3 weeks.
And are we safe to say that you think they'll wait to the weekend since you got all the obligations stuff like that? They're not going to try to jump in there right now and mess around with it when seeing considering like we don't see anybody in there or no?
I mean, these are protected until the weekend.
Okay.
So what we will see is like smaller guilds that weren't scoring as high, look at it and say, "Hey, we may have an opportunity to, give it a shot." And I would believe that it makes total sense because suddenly they're able to fight in that game mode and get good scores. So if not this weekend, definitely next weekend. So I do see a lot of smaller guilds that may have been kicked out of their castle last week, eyeing like someone's third castle or someone's second castle. Like, hey, I bet you know that this guild can't defend three or whatever. So that's kind of like the thought process that I have is like militias currently we have three, and I have to think about the math. Okay, there's a ton more players, there's a ton more guilds. How and we don't know how much more we can score, but we do know that other people can score more. So it's a math game. We have to kind of wait and see. We kind of have to do our due diligence and just understand like, hey, um, what is our goal here, and be mindful that it
Yeah.
might not be in taking as many castles as we want.
Right. That's good. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of good that it's not just, the writing's not on the wall. There's a lot of different ways to kind of get this one knocked out. So it's good to kind of sit back and really go back to their overall strategy. It kind of reminds me of how video game was back in the day. We could sit there and just go through it without no, game genie or internet or whatever like this. We just had to go through it, think about like the pros and cons of everything, and just do work instead of just like having somebody kind of take our way through it. So yeah, I'm excited for you guys, especially for all the guilds out there that are up there in the top ranks. It'll be fun to see how everything unfolds. Now, do you? I know that you've been doing a little bit of content here. Are you going to be doing a little bit of like guild versus guild, kind of showcasing some of that gameplay, or is that something that when it comes to certain strategies, you're not going to display that like on YouTube or stream or something like that?
Well, I don't mind showing what we do. Every castle is different. So what happens is like every castle has a gimmick. And so for example, like the buffs that we get. Now when it's time to do takeover, it will show what skills or what kind of the gimmick is for that castle. So certain skills will apply, certain skills won't apply. So there's not like a one build fit all for every castle, but there are general guidelines that is fairly known to the public. So I don't think I mind sharing what we do or how we do it. I just think it doesn't apply for everybody.
Sure.
Also, they have said the different regions are different strengths. So, you know, I don't know if these areas, I do know that these areas tend to be easier, and especially this one here tends to be easier, um, where lower score players can get great scores. While what we've seen in like the fire region and the, I guess the physical region, no, it's not physical. It's uh, not wind, not dirt, either way, the purple region tend to be harder. We tend to see more players that are of that eligibility have some difficulty. So region does matter. And one of the things I'd be really excited for, and I hope come to us here, is actually putting some castles in the Summer Isle, because what that would do is, okay, you now have to look at guilds who have enough players who can go up there, and more castles is just more prizes for more people.
Sure. Yep. It is. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, most of these islands, what do we got here? Like, I see 300. How many castles on average do you generally have on an island?
So there's 3 castles
Three. Yeah.
per region, and
Yeah.
there's 6 regions.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and every week what I do is I kind of go through and I make notes of like, okay, they scored here, they scored here, and you can kind of get an idea of like what it takes to take a castle.
Hmm.
And then you kind of know like, okay, which guilds did what, and if you're paying attention, you know which guilds were necessarily not successful and how much they did. So you kind of know what is the available power on the board. right? And then that's how you can kind of think about where people might go.
Okay, that'll be good. That'll
Yeah.
be
So
good.
it's just yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny because this is an idle hack and slash game, but here we are talking about tiles and power and math and whatever, right? So it's very very interesting how much the dynamic in like this element of like a strategy, uh, almost Game of Thronesy like
Yeah, I feel you on that.
yeah.
That'd be cool. So like you said before, Conquer level 3000, once that gets unlocked, you'll be able to kind of jump in here. You did kind of go over some of the things that are available once you get into that region. So I was looking to see what your take is on the new pet system. What do you think about it? I see you've already been rocking one. I'm here.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So pets, I think, kind of came from everybody really enjoying Devilmon. I really believe it came from Devilmon, right? This guy, if you look at him stylistically, he increases the level of your skills and allies.
Mhm.
So when I go across the aisle, I'm like, okay, what are some of the design spaces that are missing? And what I see are actually um, something that helps you fulfill like a like mechanic that you've been missing. So mine, for example, I am a very big physical um, damage user because my ultimate gear is
Based on
Thesis.
it, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it has a bonus if the mob or the boss has bleed, I will do more damage. So it turns out, hey, I there's a pet. Himself stylistically, he screams so much that your ears bleed, and it works great for my build. So this is kind of like how the pets are. You have this all sorts of pets, and you have their like equipability. So basically, this is the ability that you get when you put them in this top slot here. Then there's the secondary kind of equipping, and that's what you get for when they're like in the sub slot. So for this place, I get fire crit damage. For this, I get earth crit damage, and for here, I get physical crit damage. And that kind of is based. My decision was based off of the skills that I use.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna take a look right now. I see. I haven't done. Yeah, I haven't done any pet summons as well. So I was just kind of seeing if I had anything. I opened up some content, or sorry, some summons here, but that Conquer level 700. That's what's holding me back here. So it looks like I got a little bit of grinding in it too, as we said prior to starting the stream. It should be good.
Yeah, I
Um,
was a little excited. I should have saved the key so we could just do one. But what it is you have this guy who is the seed, I don't know, seed goblin, seed master,
mhm.
and it's kind of like a goblin run, except you're chasing someone.
Okay,
So your job is to chase him and like do as much damage as you can to him. And he drops this magical seed material that you use in the pet summon to go ahead and summon your pets.
gotcha. Good deal.
Yeah,
Eh,
and what is also different about this is your summoning material is not the same as your leveling material.
Right.
So you're actually encouraged to summon. So when I summon here, for example, um, you'll see that I get this fantastic leaf, and the fantastic leaf is what we use
Right.
to actually level up our pets.
And that's not the case when it comes to the relic, is it, or no?
Yeah, well, it's actually the I think that's what they were trying to get away from
Yeah.
with relics, right? Relics
Right.
is the one material fits all.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
summon with it, you upgrade with it, and I think it really kind of limits how
Right.
fast you can get relics.
Yep. That's I noticed that too. I was in here like because initially when we got into relic summons we had a lot of just regular summons that they had, but then of course once it got to the material I'm like, well, I don't want to use that because I want to level up what I got too. So yeah.
Yeah, so I like this design change. I think it encourages people to level and kind of play with their pets. And I think the design space is done really well where like you really have people that are like, oh man, I'm stuck on this level. What can I do? And they're like, well, maybe I need some more water damage from this one skill because this is a fire map. Or maybe I need, you know, like what is this one? This one. gives a burn effect. Maybe I just need burn so my Phoenix will hit harder, right? There's
Right.
so many little things that they're doing so that it's not even like there are 2 or 3 great pets. It's that there's a lot of pets that can do a lot of different things, and you can kind of figure out like which pet works for you.
Cool, cool, cool. Let me ask you this. Obviously, you've done a handful of summons when it comes to pets and whatnot here. Have you gotten a chance to do the skills there? Did you get the Goddess of War? You've tested that one out? What do you feel about that one?
I do have the Goddess of War. Yeah. So Goddess of War, I already awakened it at level 8 there, and
Jeez.
mine particularly.
So much already.
Well, hey, I had to. I knew we were gonna talk today,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is the things that people are gonna want to know. So
Yep.
so here we are.
But for the record, he's free to play, by the way. Free to play, okay? Just remember that.
No.
Free
I'm
to play.
absolutely not. Yeah, thank you. So let's kind of talk about Goddess of War. It's a physical skill. It creates a area of effect, and within that area of effect, you get increased 35 attack, increased final damage 20,
Jeez.
and increased all element boost by 30%. The thing
sick.
that is missing here that I didn't put on, and I think I will do so right now, is the enchant. The enchant, I believe, I don't remember which I put it. I think it was here. The enchant. Where is it? Oh, nope, it was not here. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna go check where the jewel is.
It's hiding somewhere.
I know. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's an emerald. Okay, good to know. It's an emerald. That's fine. So the enchant for the 3rd time increases your damage to boss monsters. Now, that doesn't necessarily sound super great, but the thing to remember about enchants is if you look at this right now, just remember this number 14569.
Right.
And we're going to go ahead and put the enchant on. A lot of times there are additional effects that they don't advertise. And this is the case again, where there is an additional effect. So right here it says increase damage dealt to boss by 25%. Put it on, and I think we said it was like 1456 or something. This number is now 17482.
Yeah, it's a pretty good jump.
So it's a huge jump. And not only that, when we were looking at this earlier, the damage that is additional to boss monsters, and I think, it's not showing right now because I don't have a field up. Once I have a field up, I can go check it again. Is actually not 20, just a plus 25. It is plus 25 of what you have.
Okay, so like an extra 300%, 350% there.
So for me, because I already had 1,000% damage to boss monsters, it's now it's like an additional,
Gotcha.
250.
So so it's showing the total amount, and then the green is the one that's added. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, that's correct. So it is a fantastic skill. It works for you. It works for your allies. It's physical. So what that means is that it's not doesn't have any relative weakness to any map. Oh, this is funny. I picked a map that's actually physical resistant, but it doesn't have any relative weakness. So the only weakness it has is to physical itself. So when you see this, it won't work as well, but it works pretty much anywhere else. So it's a great skill. I would probably think it's going to be one of the ones that will stick for a while.
Good deal. Yeah. And so let me ask you this, because again, I'm still relatively new to the game. When I came into this game testing out various units, I was all about damage. And then I, heard about Goddess of Blessing and a couple other skills that provide little buffs and whatnot. I was like, okay, I got to mix this in. I got to do that. And I'll still push on there. But, one of the things that I really didn't pay too much attention to was some of the allies. More importantly, some of the allies that are more in the like tankier side or whatnot, the ones that are very, just like I said, very tanky, have like provoke like effects or whatnot, and kind of utilize to pull the aggro to you and try to keep your units alive. Obviously it's an auto game. I just let it kind of go with the flow, but clearly when you get up at the upper ranks as you have here, you have to do a little bit of manual. You have to do a little bit of kind of control and to in order for you to get the job done. So saying all that, moving into the next part of the update here, we got a new unit by the name of Aisha, who is now a unit that can provide provoking ability that's like provoking, but like within his shark kind of. Well, I guess you saw they call it shark zone here. I don't know if you have this one or you played around with this. Oh yeah, you do definitely. It's right up front. What's your overall take? Maybe on not just on this unit itself, but provoking, like allies in general. What do you think about that?
So for provoking allies, this is much more of a last bastion type of provoke where there's an area of effect.
Okay.
The only other provoke ally we had, well, we had two. Sorry, there was Artemel, who was from Summoner's War.
Yep.
He is chance on attack, and he makes a shield. So they kind of share the same space, but the difference is one of them is chance on attack, the other one is a time based. So Aisha is great because number one, they're giving it to you. If you
Sure.
start playing, in the next week, you're gonna have a free mythical ally, and she's great. She's gonna be strong, and she's gonna help carry you through like all of the first few stages of the game. You will never have to worry about taking damage because she will tank it all for you. The second part is in terms of content, there is content that needs you to have someone kind of be that distraction, and she fulfills that role. So not only do you get it for free, she does have specific uses that will be very impactful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking her out here. I haven't looked at all the details as far as what we got to do within the game to get it, but like you said, it's going to be free to all the players.
Just
So
log in.
just log in. Boom. That's it. That's
Just
it.
log in. 5 days and you'll get it.
There you go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So let's take a look here. The next thing they got up in here, it looks like it's a. I'm guessing that's a skill. I can't really tell here. No, it looks like maybe a relic. The Ancient Beast Hide provides attack for friendly units and then it reduces their movement speed. What's your thought about that? Since that kind of, you got a little bit of positive and negative with that.
Yeah. So at first, when we were reading it, we just thought it was like another version of the Titan's bracelet, right? Like,
Hmm.
we increase something and we lose speed. Oh, so at first we weren't necessarily that excited. And then we put it on, and then we realized, oh, we're included. We're also friendly units.
Right.
And I think, and I'm not confirmed this yet, but I believe when they say friendly units, that includes your pets. So now
Okay.
we have three classifications of like types of units, right? You have capital allies, which is just your allies. You have allies with a lowercase, which includes you. And now you have friendly units. So I think that also includes pets. So this ends up being I would say, makes Titan's bracelet maybe obsolete, but
Hmm.
fantastic. It's I don't know if it's a auto like equip for everybody, but it's definitely in in good space.
Yeah. Let me ask you this here while we got on the topic. So you made a good comment about how friendly units, like you're not really sure if it's like allies are included, or excuse me, pets are included, or whatnot. Let's say they were included, and there was a lot of overlap on that. What's your personal opinion on that? Because when we think about all the overlapping that's kind of already in the game, it sounds pretty OP. Like, do you think that is a little too much, given all the different ways of providing, additional stats and whatnot, or is that you think that's right in realm with where the game is at, where it's going to be going from here? What do you think?
So I think with a style of game like this, you're kind of this. You start off as like a nobody, right? And then
Mhm.
you slowly gain power, and then like you slowly gain relics, and you slowly, it's like the whole uh like I got resurrected as a slime kind of vibe where you just grow your power and you kind of get to blast through enemies. So from that perspective, more tools to do so is fantastic. And from the perspective of like you just got pets and you just got a new classification, so you want a way to boost and use those pets to a higher ability,
Mhm.
I think it's fantastic. Yes, obsolescence kind of feels bad.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say that this Titan's bracelet has always been in the black market, so there was never a need to pull it for like a banner. I would say that it is one of the originals. So if you were going to pick one to make obsolete, I think that this one hurts a lot less than some of the others.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Take a look at some of the other new stuff here. We got a couple of new soul parts that have been added, as well as a collection update. I think that some of the parts for the collection have been like with regards to the ultimates as well. So I don't know if you've been taking a look at the ones that you haven't got. Yeah, take a look at the new ones. Seen anything unique
Yeah.
there?
So um, yeah, here's a superstar personal life. There's some here, and generally like we collect them to get the accuracy points. There's a bunch. It's great. It's just one of those like when you click on it and you see new, go ahead, grab it. It's just going to help you make sure you land those hits. What is new though is the ultimate parts collection, and they provide so much power. When you get plus 300 for ally damage or plus 200 for final damage, and it's just for having them,
Right.
right? So if
Right.
you're already on the track of trying to find like a specific gear and you're trying to figure out what should I work on next, well, for me, I'm like, oh, you know, I can finish this if I can land this, accessory. There's two right there.
Hmm.
Or if I work on a face, I can finish these two, right? So there's lots of space for me to think about like what do I want to do, because I may be able to finish a collection and be able to get an extra 200 or something percent of something. So here would be like another 200% final damage probably. That is big incentive for me to try and roll like a body.
Hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say kind of in line with some of the stuff that we put in the ultimate guide, like final damage, skill damage. Those are going to be the ones to focus on. Allies damage is not super high on the priority list as far as the early to mid game, but obviously it'll be something to kind of consider down the road.
So ally damage, when we talk about it on gear, kind of acts like skill damage.
Okay.
It seems and it seems that like you only want one or two lines of it. You don't want to go too crazy because there is diminishing value. And like I said, everything needs a balance. But the main thing is that allies are kind of like a nerfed down version of yourself. So they benefit from you being strong. So if you're already strong, they will be stronger. And if you have like, very fast attack speed, they will also have that very fast attack speed.
Makes sense,
So
yeah.
it is much more important that you are strong with like one or two lines of ally damage than it is for you to like, in my opinion, go all in on ally damage and go make sure that they do all the damage, because they're based off of you.
Okay. That'll work. That'll work. Now, I took a look at some of the other updates here. They talk about just like, new titles and profiles and stuff like that, which is obviously really cool. But some of the things that sticked out to me was some of the improvements that they made and the training category. So do you want to take a look at the training categories there and give me your kind of honest opinion on those?
Yeah, so the training
They cleaned it up
is
a little bit.
actually... I'm sorry?
Yeah, no, that they kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and looks like it's a little bit more organized here. So
Yeah, they also added the physical element boost
Mhm.
or like element boost category. So it used to be that we were only really able to impact our element boost on these lines and then impact them through our awakening or our ability, and we would have to enhance them, and then that's how we would get some additional element boost along with enhancing them here, right? So
right.
so that's kind of how we used to impact them. Now we can directly say like, oh, I need more earth boost, and then just go ahead and add points. And when that happens, like for me now, yesterday I think in the 20,000 element boost. Now I'm close to like 60.
That's
It's a
sick.
big
What a big change,
difference.
dude! Wow,
Yeah,
that is
it's a big
actually
difference.
amazing.
But
Yeah.
I have like I have gear that is like was already very high back then. So like it even more so for me exaggerated.
Yeah, definitely. We got a couple of new changes on the constellation. Looks like there's a new one there called Pisces. Have you
That's
jumped
great.
into that just yet? What's your overall thoughts on that one?
So I did jump into it. I did help a teammate make or redo their constellation. So this is mine. It's clearly not done. It's not that great, but there's a few things. They move the kind of the stat line from here to here. So as you're kind of going through it, it's much easier. And one of the things that I believe is new is the skill cooldown section here. So you can actually get skill cooldown from Constellation now. And I'm just going to double check to keep me honest. Yeah. So what I do like about this one is it's actually dual damage. So generally, when it comes to dual damage, your opportunity to get a attack or crit damage is very high. Like, because now instead of just trying to get final damage or just attack, you have more opportunities to get something that is desirable on the field. So particularly why I have 5% here is because as a goddess blessing user, that provides you what I think it'll say right here, 25%, and then you get 10% from your attribute, so that brings you to 30%. And then where is it? It is up here. Nope, it is down. Yeah. So by having 5% there, I can actually max out my cooldown reduction without using an additional line on my gear. So that's something I like. I think it helps just kind of maximize your casting.
Cool. Yep. And then again, just to put it out there for my new players that have been following me since the beginning, when I came in, Constellation is something that gets opened up when you get the level 1 bookcase. It's just going to be in your shelter. It's going to be in the top right area. Once you get that open, they'll kind of give you the introduction to Constellations. You'll be able to jump into it. So next thing that they got up here is going to be the new attribute. I think you were just looking at it earlier. Viridid, how you pronounce that? Viriditas? Viriditas? I don't know how you pronounce that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Yeah.
We'll say Viri.
Yeah, so it is the kind of the pet tree.
Right.
And I don't know if what I've done is correct, by the way. But it's what I think works for me because I can take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And when we look through this, you can kind of see, the pet equip effect plus 10%. We kind of see this. You get 2 pets. Okay, that's kind of cool. So, and then there's this one right here, which is element damage 1% for every 1% of the corresponding element penetration exceeding beyond 100%. So I kind of read that not very great, but the point is every point you have above 100% will become element damage for that particular type. So for me, I have both the relic, the corporeal helm. So this has it should say all element, resist penetration by 71%. And then I also have Ares, which is all element penetration by 48.8%. So I already have from here above 100%. So each percentage for me automatically goes into damage.
Jeez, that's crazy. I can only imagine, yeah.
If you can take advantage of it, it becomes like a very big source of additional damage.
Yeah, definitely. Jeez. All right.
So then the question is like, what gets sacrificed, right? And for me, I sacrificed kind of my HP and the weapon master here. I also took out element boost here and took out elemental master and elemental armor, and that gave me just enough to climb down this tree to grab this.
That's good. As long as you got it, that's all that matters. Yeah.
I do a significant amount of damage. I will want to also mention, I said everybody got a power upgrade. That includes any player that has been just started at any level, because what they've also done is expanded the base level for all the classes. So it doesn't matter if you started yesterday, if you started, a few months ago, if you started at the beginning of the game, everybody got a power boost. And this is the base, kind of your class. So this is a massive power boost for everybody. And with that being said, they also expanded the class summoning. So you have more opportunity to get those SS classes so that you can get more SSS class, so that you can get more of these ability lines.
Yep. Yep, that'll be good. Yeah, I was just taking a look at the list here. As far as we kind of hit some of the big things that to talk about, but outside of that, they expanded the class levels, the class summon levels. We got an improvement on both the parts, the missions, the achievements. A lot of things got improved in here, as well as, of course, the conquer level, which is kind of, we already kind of know it given the fact that we got the new content here. They did do some balance adjustments. It looks like for Charles, I know you made a comment, prior to making the video here. It looks like some of these were changed here. We got some percentages here. I guess the percentage beforehand, as far as the epic and the legendary, 78-16, and then the mythical is 5.5%. Now legendary mythical are half and half at 50 and 50. So that's a pretty substantial change there.
Well, it means that you're never going to see a blue or purple item for Charles again. So
Right.
no matter what, when you go to him, when you go look at all the items, they're always going to be red or yellow. So in terms of like Rolodexing for that enchant or for that item, it improved substantially.
Significant.
Yeah, because we used to just see maybe 1, 2 mythicals sometimes. Now you're seeing it every page, every time you look at it, and this is particularly good for those harder to find items, because now when you do see it, they will be mythical.
Good deal.
Yeah, so
And
that's just Charles. For Oscar, though, he's here. One of the things that is new for us is you can now buy these gems for Ether. And that was available to us before, but it was kind of expensive. Oscar sells it at a discount. So it does give a lot of more opportunities for us to get our jewels.
right. Right. And for the new players that haven't seen the Wandering Merchants, you want to tell them a little bit about Oscar, Lily, and whatnot?
Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and change to a different tile. But the 3 merchants of Conquerors is Oscar, Lily, and Charles. Charles shows up the most. Lily and Oscar are a little more rare. And they all sell different things. Generally, Oscar, since he's here, and I can go and show you, the way we find them is, as you just saw earlier, we look for the kind of the cart on wheels, and this symbol will show up on a tile.
Right.
So in order for him to show up, you just need to travel to every tile at least once. Get like 1%, less than 1%. You just need to actually just travel and hit something. And no matter what, you'll see this icon. That being said, if you go on Discord and ask where's the merchant, someone will be like, "Oh, new player, okay," and we'll let you know where it is. It's fine, but that's generally how we find it, and like that's why researching to 100% is important, so you can just teleport there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Oscar, what he sells is usually summoning material and upgrade material. Upgrade pertaining to your these upgrades, these dimension energy, silver. He sells experience tokens. That's kind of what Oscar sells. Lily, she sells more of the crafting items. So I like to buy totems and flasks, and you can get 5th elements from her. You can get stones from her. You can get items to make 5th element from her. So the big thing with Lily, though, is that you can also buy, and I haven't seen it yet. I need to look at the chart, but you can buy enhancing stone from her. And that ends up being a lot more efficient to buy from her, because you don't have to go through the conversion rate of changing your gold into enhancing stone. So she's a really popular person to visit if you want to get that enhancing stone, because it is so expensive to keep changing this into from your base level to a few clicks a day. You're using all the gold that you earned that day to get like 1 or 2 levels.
Yeah, literally. It's actually funny. It's funny you made the comment. Like I was doing fine up until I got to 100, and I feel like after I hit the plus 100, like it just slows down dramatically as far as the ability to upgrade and stuff like that. So unless I'm doing something wrong, we'll have to figure it out. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I think Comtuous was like, I guess, kind of surprised, I guess, how fast people get through this,
Sure.
because this was just upgraded like 1 or 2 updates ago.
Hmm.
So, and they had us redo the last enhancing stone. So this is finally a new one, and this is finally they added another level. So I think that they're mainly looking at it like, okay, we need like a sink for people to throw their gold into. Um, and that's kind of where I'm coming from, because when I
Yep.
look at this upgrade, right, and it's like, okay, I get 200 more final damage, and I'm gonna throw all my gold away. Well, maybe that's not the way I want to go, because when I look at like my new awakening levels,
Right.
um, oh here, yeah, you see, it's also, this is a 2,000
That's a
final
pretty.
damage. So so
That's
so
pretty.
it's much more valuable to go through and do this than it is to just do enhancing. But enhancing also increases your some of these other things too. So it depends on what you're trying to do, but absolutely, like, it's
Mhm.
well, you kind of need to understand like why Comtuous has made it such a hard staircase to climb. They want something for you to do and some reason for you to keep coming back day after day.
Yeah. Now I was taking a look at the list too as well, because there's so much stuff on this update here.
Yeah,
A
it's
lot of the
huge.
stuff kind of moving forward, just a lot of random, various improvements and different types of quality of life improvements and whatnot. A lot of stuff to go through. Just for the sake of time, because I know update videos like this generally, people kind of want them a little short and sweet. Is there anything that you can think of, more or less, that you would really want the community to know as far as the update goes, outside of the stuff that we've already talked about?
Yeah, so one of the things they added was there's two things they added that I think is kind of neat. Is they added a wipeout
Yep, I saw
based
that.
off of your higher score. So you no longer have to go do it over and over again. Sometimes these keys collect and you're like, oh, I have to do 20 of these, and that's 20 minutes straight of, whatever, right? So now they added that. I think it's great. Another item that I think has been really helpful, I'm trying to think. Uh, yeah, yeah, they hide you, so they hide it. Oh, I know. The title system. They now you can hide what was completed, so
Right.
it's a lot easier for you to be like, what's next? And this is something that I don't think a lot of people do, but when you look at some of these, uh, plus 2% attack,
Hmm.
plus one, plus 1% skill, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you actually do like 50 of them, it adds up.
Right.
So this is a huge source of damage and power that, um, if you're not paying attention to, you'll be losing out on it.
Hmm.
So one of the ways to get a lot of this, and I'm trying to show you, is you can use an ally, and like right here, if I use Howard as an ally and he defeats 5,000 monsters, I'm gonna get a permanent, 1% skill buff.
Hmm.
So just by using them, you're going to get stronger. So, and they have this for every ally. So there's an ally you haven't played with before and you're about to farm, stick
Throw
them
them in
in
there,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Throw them in there. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Now, I'll tell you what, man. I'm definitely looking forward to testing everything out. I just even now when we were talking with the, because like I said, for the people out there that are watching here, my conquer level is very, very low considering. I think it was just like last week that I would get in, and even now, just during this video, I think I've gone up like 10 to 15 levels or whatnot. So it's good. Good deal. I'm looking forward to it. Any last words you want to share with the community?
No, I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone's support. You guys reaching out and saying like, "Hey, that was great." That's awesome. We do it so that there's a reference point for everybody, and we want to keep doing this. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for your support.
All right. Well, that's going to be it, fam. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish and Epic Butter with Childish Plays checking out. Take care, and we will see you guys all in the next one. We're out.